So we're going to talk about our values, and this is going to be split up into two sections. First, we're going to talk about 3 general learner outcomes from the Board of Education, and we're going to answer if I thought my school was effective in teaching me these GLOs, and how do I use these GLOs in my everyday life. Then we're going to talk about 3 of my own values and answer why they are important to me and how a student might demonstrate this value.
So being a self-directed learner is the ability to be responsible for one's own learning. And was my school effective in teaching me this? I think so, yes. In high school especially, this value was emphasized in preparation to attend college. And I saw it emphasized in 2 ways. The first way being that there were different tracks in school. So there was remedial, regular, and then there was the honors and AP track. And although teachers would normally recommend us to different tracks based on our academic abilities, oftentimes they would give us the option, so the choice to join a higher track. And that was the opportunity for us to say, okay, I want to challenge myself a little bit more, so I want to join this track. And essentially, that worked out. I was given that choice, and that's why I was able to graduate with academic honors in high school. The second way that the school effectively taught this to us was that teachers and advisors weren't ever chasing after students in regards to schoolwork, especially in high school and especially in the honors and AP tracks. Um, Classes were conducted almost college-like in that students were responsible for their work, for turning in work on time, and that if you fell behind, nobody was gonna get after you. It's your responsibility to make sure that you learn the material, and if you didn't understand, was your responsibility to contact the teacher to schedule time for extra help. So how do I use self-directed learning in my everyday life? Well, at work, oftentimes there are new things or procedures that I don't know the protocol to, and instead of bothering other coworkers or supervisors that are busy with other things, a lot of times I just go ahead and look up the procedure and, attempt to do it to the best of my ability. And when somebody has a free moment, then just double check with them. Unless it's like really urgent or important that I need to ask for help. But most of the time, I'm just able to figure it out on my own. Another way that I use this in my everyday life is with current events in the news. I know a lot of people don't keep up with current events, but I think that, we should keep ourselves informed by watching the news, reading the newspaper, reading articles, and just keep updated on what's happening in the world just to stay informed and not be ignorant. And I think we're responsible for that. I don't think anybody should have to tell us what's going on in the world, and keep reminding us of, tragedies that are happening or wars that are occurring. I think that we should go out and be responsible for knowing what's going on in the world and what events are affecting us at home. Okay, so being a community contributor is the understanding that is essential for human beings to work together. And my school was definitely effective in teaching me this. Since kindergarten, um, Hawaiian values were mandatory to be put up in every classroom, and one of the values was laulima. And it was instilled in me since kindergarten that cooperation and many hands working together was essential to getting things done. And, especially in elementary, we had every grade, so K through 6, we had a major group activity. So just major things that allowed us to work together in groups. And then as we got older in high school or in intermediate and high school, obviously teachers made us do group projects. Um, I wasn't really ever fond of doing group projects, but because I did it so often, I understood the importance of working with other people to collaborate to achieve a similar goal. And how do I use community contribution in my everyday life? Well, a prime example is the other day at work, we had a 675 person mail out that needed to go out by 4:30 and it was 2:30. So the only things we had done were we had the flyers printed and we had the envelopes labeled. What else did we have to do? To we had to fold the flyers, stuff the envelopes, put the stamp on the envelope, and we had to seal the envelope. So 675 of these trying to go to Kauai by 4:30. It initially started out with just me and a coworker, and if it had stayed that way, we would have been there through Sunday. But everybody in the office ended up helping, and we ended up finishing by 4. So everybody had time to spare to finish the rest of their work. Another way that I use community contribution in my life is taking care of kids. So I have 6 nieces and nephews. So I'm pretty accustomed to babysitting people's kids. And I've learned that as good as you are with kids and as much as they like you, it's always better when you have someone to help you. You know, there are always going to be times when a 2-year-old needs to go to the potty while the 7-month-old is crying because he's hungry. Or other times when you have 5 kids under 6 years old in one house and you're babysitting. That is super fun. No, it's not fun. But if you have people helping you, one person can take the kid to the potty, the other person can feed the infant. You can kind of divide and conquer to make sure these kids are entertained and kept safe. So, being an effective and ethical user of technology is the ability to use a variety of technologies effectively and ethically. So, was my school effective in teaching me this value? Me personally, yes. Other people, not so much. Ever since elementary school, we always had the latest technology. We always had new computers, access to state of the art equipment, and we were always taught how to use these properly. Although left on our own, I'm sure us millennials could have figured out how to use it by ourselves. I remember in elementary, though, I was already learning how to video conference with other schools, so that was pretty cool. Then in high school, whenever we signed out technology like video cameras or laptops, we had to sign this contract stating that we were going to use this technology for school purposes only and that we were going to be responsible for taking care of it and making sure that, nobody else was using it for other reasons. Although I'm sure some people used it for personal reasons and bad reasons, but for the most part, we all knew how to use the technology properly. And how do I use this in my everyday life? Well, first and foremost, I chose to make YouTube videos as my medium of expression. So I'm pretty sure that shows I know how to use technology effectively. And then we communicate, pretty much the bulk of our communications are done through technology. Why is discipline important to me? To me, discipline is control, and we need to have the discipline to stay focused, to keep on task, to manage our time wisely. There's pretty much in our everyday life, we need discipline just to even wake up on time and go to work or go to school. Discipline to make sure that we feed the dogs in the morning before we go to work. Um, just everyday things, everyday tasks like that. And how might a student demonstrate this value? Well, obviously, behavior is one. They'll make sure that they're not being disruptive during class or in school. Um, in addition, students can demonstrate it by, having the discipline to turn in work on time and to follow through with instructions. Why is respect important to me? I think respect is a fundamental value in life that everyone should demonstrate. And we should respect ourselves and we should respect others. Um, you know, we have to respect ourselves. We have to look in the mirror and say, this is me and I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to be the best that I can be. As corny as that sounds, it's important. And then we also have to respect others, respect their space, respect their opinions and their ideals. How might a student demonstrate respect? Respect comes in all shapes and forms. you know, there are so many things you can do to show respect. Students can you know, not interrupt people while they're talking. Students can just sit and listen. Taking notes is a form of respect because it shows that you really want to know what this person is talking about and you really want to remember what they're saying. Um, Students can also show self respect. Dressing in a manner that's not provocative, that's self respect. Keeping yourself healthy, keeping yourself clean, self respect. And finally, appreciation. Why is appreciation important to me? Because I feel like appreciation in any culture will take you a long way. Just showing your gratitude for things that people have done for you and your gratitude for things that you have. It really kind of shows this sense of humbleness, I guess you would say. Um, and how might a student demonstrate this in class? The most obvious way, a simple thank you. It's just be thankful, be able to reciprocate respect, one of the other values, and just be grateful for things. That's all you have to do. Be grateful, and people will be happy.